Okay, so what we're going to start off with, I'm going to pass out our chart that we're going to work on. It's the grasshopper and the owl, drawing conclusions worksheet. We're going to take our evidence that we know and the conclusions, which are the evidence is the clues in the story that we're learning about. And then the conclusions is what I already know, and then you're going to come up with your own conclusion at the end. And I'm going to give you some helpful hints when we get through reading our story that you can try to take out some ideas, some words, and we're going to try to draw conclusions using those words. Okay, so let me read this story to you. I want you to remember your vocabulary words, and I want you to try to think about finding those in the story, and that way you can try to understand what they mean by the context of the story. Okay, so our story is The Owl and the Grasshopper by Aesop. And it says, an owl who was sitting in a hollow tree, dozing away a summer's afternoon, was very much disturbed by a rogue of a grasshopper singing in the grass beneath. So far from keeping quiet or moving away at the request of the owl, the grasshopper sang all the more and called her an old blinker. That only came out at night when all honest people had gone to bed. The owl waited in silence for a time, then artfully addressed the grasshopper as follows. Well, my dear, if one cannot be allowed to sleep, it is something to be kept awake by such a pleasant voice. And now I think of it, I have a bottle of delicious nectar. If you will come up, you shall have a drop. The silly grasshopper came hopping up to the owl, who at once caught and killed him, and finished her nap in comfort. The moral of our story is flattery is not a proof of admiration. So, that was a mean old hoot owl, wasn't it? Okay. So let's go look at our chart and let's see what we've got to work on. Okay, what we have is, let me see, what is making that screech noise in our story? What is making that screech noise?
The grasshopper.
The screech? Who's making a screech? That's right. The owl was making a screech. That's what owls do. We try to use our context of our story. So how do we know? We try to think back when hoot owl screeched. Grasshopper was singing. Okay. So let's draw some conclusions with this. Okay, one of ours is, how does owl feel about grasshoppers singing? Well, how does owl feel about grasshoppers singing?
Mad.
Why is he mad?
Because he's trying to get some sleep in the night, and the grasshopper's all like...
That's right. Do you get mad when somebody wakes you up and you're sleeping? Yeah. Okay, so that's what we, so we're going to put our clues in the story. We're going to put